Why are you the real deal?
I'm the real deal because I've been a doctor for 20 years.
20 years!
20
years! Control room round of applause. Actual working doctor.
Yay! I actually have got lots of interesting anonymised patient stories scattered throughout the book, which I think really helps people get the information.
You really know your stuff. It's so obvious.
Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. And this book is a distillation of my life's work, honestly. I feel as though, I want people to feel like they're not alone, they've got tools they can use if they need them, and it's all evidence-based and it's bespoke to them.
Well done.
You've got a dog, Daisy.
Yes.
Have you noticed what Daisy does when she's stressed?
She shakes it off.
Like Taylor Swift, she shakes it off.
It really does, and
it works. And every mammal does this. And so, even after a big hunt, you'll have a lion hunting a gazelle, right? They'll both have a shake, assuming the gazelle survives the hunt.
And it resets their nervous system.
Yeah, it's like a physiological reset that every mammal does. But it's actually really important for all mammals. They all do it. And we're mammals.
Is this the preface for what's to come?
We should do it as well.
I'd like to introduce you to the phrase, if you don't already know it, of a global syndemic, which is the combination of increased rates of things like heart disease and cancer and diabetes, alongside growing rates of undernutrition and starvation, and of course our increased risk of infectious diseases as well. What does increased risk of infectious diseases got to do with meat and dairy? Well, there's two reasons why it's crucial. The first is, of course, because we keep animals in cramped conditions, and that means we do create a breeding ground for new strains of influenza, and we're only one mutation away from a pretty catastrophic new pandemic, potentially far worse than the one that we just lived through. And secondly, antibiotic resistance. This is a big deal for human health, and sadly the biggest driver of antibiotic resistance in animals and in humans is the animal agriculture industry. And our loved ones need antibiotics that work. Things like routine cesarean sections or minor infections will become potentially deadly things if we don't have effective antibiotics, and that's another crucial aspect of human health, which is again something that we can look at through the lens of the animal agriculture industry.
Hands up, those of you who are familiar with type 1.5 diabetes. Type 1.5 is also known as latent autoimmune diabetes. It tends to be a bit confusing for doctors because, like type 1, it's autoimmune, but like type 2, it comes on in adulthood. And they'll try and treat it with anti-glycemic medications, and initially their patients will respond and they'll think, great, this is all fine, this is type 2, it's responding well, but what they'll start to notice is that their patients will rapidly stop responding to the medications.
12% of the population suffers from diabetes, and the pre-diabetes prevalence is a whopping 12.4% of the population. I was absolutely stunned by that statistic, because essentially what it means is that nearly 25% of the population will have pre-diabetes or diabetes, and this information is going to be relevant for every single one of them.